The Palmetto Trail has been a winter hiking destination for me beginning in the winter of 2022. I have currently section hiked 250 miles of the trail, but skipped 34 miles of road in 2023. In this video, I am back for a quick 3-day solo adventure to complete 3 skipped sections, including the big one between the Capital City Passage and the Peak to Prosperity Passage. Links to all my prior section hikes from Awanda Passage to the Newberry Passage will be in the description below. Thanks for joining me on the beautiful Palmetto Trail. All right, here we go. Feels good to finally be here, be on the move, and out of my truck. All right, leaving the Fort Jackson Trailhead. My truck is parked right there in the Fort Jackson Trailhead on the east side. There's the Palmetto Trail Trailhead sign. I got 3 miles to where I got picked up last year at the end of the Boyd Passage. We skipped this little road walk section, and I'm gonna run it back to where we got picked up and then run it back here to my truck, and then we'll drive to the next section inside the fort. Just crossed 601, and now we're heading into the northeast landfill. Got about maybe a mile and a half down this road, and there's the beginning of the Palmetto Trail here in the Boyd Passage. All right, we're back in the woods. Here's the road to the landfill, and I don't think this was here last year. You know, the Boyd Passage is still currently under construction. I'm not sure how many of the miles are finished, but this is awfully nice. Good old Palmetto Trail. Gotta love the pine duff and the pine trees. Beautiful. So those of you who are familiar with the Palmetto Trail, Palmetto, I can never figure it out. I've looked online, I've heard it both ways. Anyway, this is the new Boyd Passage, AKA Cook Mnt Passage, that connects Wateree to Fort Jackson. I forget how many miles it is, but Leonidas and I did it last year in part 2, I think, of our 3-part series. And we skipped 3 miles here from the landfill to where I parked my truck today and started at the Fort Jackson Trailhead. And it hasn't set well with me passing those 3 miles up. So I'm gonna do an out and back, knock that part out, then drive around to gate 2 and hike the 5 miles in the base that I skipped last year. Because we were here on a Saturday, and as you know, well, maybe you don't know, you can't get in gate 5 into the base on Saturdays. Only outbound traffic. So I gotta drop my truck off at gate 5. I'm gonna catch an Uber or a Facebook friend to pick me up and take me over to gate 2 to knock out that 5 miles. And then after that, I'll explain what's happening next. We have a big 23-mile road walk coming up after that. The trail skirts right along the edge of the landfill road here for quite a while. All right, I'm guessing I'm about a half mile from where I left off last year and got picked up by the trail coordinator, Jamie. Man, I don't remember his last name. I'll have to look. I'll throw it up on the screen. Trail coordinator from, and I think he helps out Furman Miller in these middle passages. I think Marie Butler does the Wateree on down. So maybe this one, Boyd or Cook Mnt and Fort Jackson and on up is Jamie and Furman's. So Jamie picked us up last year and took us to Fort Jackson. So the Boyd Passage turns to the right here. I can see it way up ahead, skirting those larger pines. It's right here at this little rock pile. I only need to do like a half mile, so I don't want to get deeper into the Boyd Passage if I don't need to. So I'm going to go out here on the road to finish this up. Made it to the landfill. I've already walked this section all the way to this road. So there's the entrance to the landfill, Northeast Landfill. I believe it's a Republic-owned landfill. Heading back to the truck. That was exactly 3 miles. You know, I thought about trying to get a lift from one of these garbage truck drivers. I'm guessing there's a company policy that would prevent them from picking me up or allowing me to ride with them. Might not hurt though. I mean, I don't need to do this section again. I'll probably have to, but I've thought about trying to hitch back to my truck, save 3 miles. Crossing back over 601, back on the Leesburg Road. About 1.25 miles back to my truck at the Fort Jackson Trailhead. On my final quarter mile to a half mile down to where my truck is. Just passing by part of the base here. I think this is the Marine Reserve. I forget what the sign said back there. Just walking down Leesburg Road. It's a long straight road into Columbia. All right, here we are. Back to the trailhead. To hop in my truck and make our way towards Gate 5. All right, I just arrived here to Gate 5 at Fort Jackson Passage, and I thought I'd show you what I have for lunch today. I tried something new. It's called Rec Pack. Complete meal. It is 700 calories. One complete meal. Optimized nutritional ratio, durable in any environment, ready in seconds. I just added 16 ounces of water, shook it up real good, gulped it down. And it didn't taste too bad. I actually enjoyed it. Looks like it's a lot of good ingredients. Whole oat flour. Does have some maltodextrin in there. I don't really particularly like that, but I know that can give you energy while you're hiking and working out. Whey protein isolate, that's good. Organic cane sugar, coconut oil blend. You know, that's helping you get some of those high calories. Organic rice syrup solids, pea protein. Yeah, lots of good stuff in here. And they have 3 flavors that I'm trying. This one was the chocolate one. I also got a coffee, and I can't remember what the other one is. But I think I'm gonna add these to my arsenal for lunches on the trail from now on. Pretty good. It weighed 5.9 ounces, so definitely not the lightest thing in the world, but you know, not bad. I mean, it's about the same as a breakfast skillet from Mountain House. Lighter than a lot of the freeze-dried lunches. So, and it's quick and easy. That's what I like about it. I mean, you could eat this thing on the run if you wanted to. Very handy. So one of the difficulties of doing these road sections alone is figuring out how to get back to your truck. That's why I did it out and back on that first 3 mile section by the landfill. But this one's a little bit longer, you know, 5 miles within the base, and I can't get in at Gate 5. So I got to go over to Gate 2, get my background check done so they can let me in, and then I'm going to come back here to Gate 5. And it's about a 5 mile walk. And the guy at the information center that I called at Gate 2 said that I can get out here since I'm not in a vehicle. Vehicles can't go in and out except for like 4 to 6 in the morning, or maybe it's 6 to 8 in the morning, and then from like 4 to 6 at night. So very limited time to go in and out at Gate 5. So after I hop back in my truck here, after finishing these 5 miles here at Fort Jackson, I'm gonna drive to the Alston Trail Head, camp there tonight, and then tomorrow morning, my shuttle driver, Ann, is gonna be picking me up at Alston and taking me to Columbia. to begin that 23-mile road walk back to the Alston Trail Head at the beginning of the Peak to Prosperity Passage. And then once that's complete, we'll move on up the trail, pick up where I left off last year at Lynch's Woods in Newberry, and also the second half of the Newberry Passage heading out of town north of Newberry. So that is the plan for this trip. And unless I get rained out, shouldn't be any problem to knock out those miles. And then I'll be back down here next month, almost exactly a month from today, to backpack another 100 to 130 mile section of the Palmetto Trail. All right, there's my shuttle driver, Ann. She just dropped me off here, right where me and Leonidas began the Capital City Passage last year. I got my pass from Gate 2 a few minutes ago. And now we're heading up the road here to Gate 1 and begin this 5 miles through the fort. Well, I'm officially in the base, about a half mile in, 4.5 miles to go back to my truck. And boy, the clouds sure came out. It almost feels cooler. I was in a t-shirt sweating earlier, but it's still 52 degrees. It just feels cold. I don't know what it is, but still better than Ohio, that's for sure. It's currently 2:30, so probably an hour and a half to get out of here. That's gonna be 4 o'clock, and then probably an hour drive to Alston. It's 5. It's gonna be almost dark by the time I get to Alston Trail Head to set up my camp. We better get running. You can definitely tell you're in a base. Holy moly, look at all those. Are those Humvees? I don't know my military vehicles. And this facility looks like a prison of some kind. The barbed wire fence, white prison buses. Huh. One thing I've noticed in the first mile and a half out here within the Fort Jackson base is that there's no blazes yet. You have to use the Avenza maps, the passage maps, to follow your little dot down the road so you know you're on the right path. I mean, if there are blazes out here, I sure haven't seen them. That's all right. That's what the Avenza maps are for, right? You know, I've been really impressed with how beautiful this area is in the base and how many amenities are available to people that live here. I'm guessing it's military families or the spouses of military that live here. I don't know. I'm talking about golf courses, swimming pools, tennis courts, fishing lakes, campgrounds. This place is huge. I mean, it might be 20 miles long and 5 or 10 miles deep. It's a big place. And I'm only halfway through. And behind me, you know, I was going through areas that looked like I was just walking through a neighborhood in some rural American town. So yeah, this is really nice. It just sucks that you have to go through the process of getting a background check and only able to enter through certain gates at certain times. The restrictions kind of stink, but what do you do? It would be nice if there was some kind of special quick pass or hiker pass that was available to get for people that just want to go through real quick and be done with it and not have all the restrictions. I don't know, it'd probably be a pain in the butt. Or if there was a way to skirt the trail along the outside or right beside their fenced-in property, that'd be cool. Then you wouldn't have to walk through the middle of the base and on all these roads. But I have had sidewalks for quite a while, so that is nice. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. The Palmetto Trail goes back into the woods. Awesome, I didn't know that. Now that I look at the map a little closer, I can see that the trail starts zigzagging. And this is why, because it leaves the road and goes into the woods through the gate. Awesome. And starting to see some more signage for the Palmetto Trail. Okay, slightly overgrown, but I like it. I was missing that nice single track through the woods. Hey, we got a little bridge here. Lovely. Several nice benches along the trail. This one's kind of overgrown in front of it, but this is old Hazy's Pond. You can kind of see it out there. Maybe we'll get a better look at it up ahead here. I'm loving this part of the trail. This is really nice. We got less than a mile and a half and we'll be out of here. Here's a better look at it. Deep in the middle of Fort Jackson. Old Hazy's Pond. I'm not sure how you say it. Heises SES. I may have been mistaken because now we're by a better looking pond. Maybe this is Hasey's Pond. I really like that little walkway between the ponds. That's cool. All right, let's see which way we go here. So I got Avenza maps on here, and you can see exactly where you're at on that little blue dot right there. We just went around. Yep, old Hasey's Pond. Man, that's gorgeous back in there. Archery range. Is that what that says? Yep. Well, I got a little distracted looking at these ponds and I got off trail. It looks like I'm heading back towards it now. It goes that way. Here's the archery range right here. So I was heading down there. There's an awesome looking structure down there. I don't know what that is. That's beautiful. But it looks like we got to go this way. Yeah, we're almost back on the trail. I don't see any blazes anywhere. Maybe it just follows this road. Okay, I found the trail. This is a very, very easy turn to miss. So here's the Hasey's Pond. And right up there is the road and that archery range. And right here is the trail. No blazes, no signage. If it wasn't for Avenza maps, never would have saw this. I really don't know how you could get through this section without the Avenza maps. Unless you had a map from the fort or something. I don't know. All right, here we are at the end of the Fort Jackson Passage inside the base. And believe it or not, it continues right along there to the other end in the east, and also this way right out to the parking lot. You don't have to go through the security check gate. So I was under the impression that that was the only way in and out at the gate. But I mean, I gotta be honest with you, if you're in a jam, I don't see what the big deal is continuing right along on into the base. And when you get to the other end, you just walk out. They don't check you for a permit on the way out, only on the way in at gate 1 and 2. Very strange. So I know that's not the way it's supposed to be done, but I don't see how anybody could stop you from doing that if that's the way you chose to do it. Just putting the information out there. All right, there's my truck. Ready to hop in and head to Alston Trail Head. All right, I have arrived here to the beginning of the Peak to Prosperity passage here at the Alston Trail Head. And we have some campsites down below the hill here. And a beautiful railroad trestle right there. Let's go check it out. It's very overcast now and getting a little chilly. We're almost down the mid-40s. Supposed to get down to about 35 tonight and a 35% chance of rain. And it's gonna be getting dark soon, so I'm gonna get camp set up here in just a few minutes. I forgot to buy water when I was in Columbia, so I'm gonna have to get my filter and go down here to the Watery River, maybe? I forget which one this is. And I'm gonna have to filter some water. As you can see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice tent pads. I'm not sure if I can get my tent set up on this. Let's go check out that site I saw by the water. And if it's no good, we'll come back up here. I really like this spot. We have 3 picnic tables. There's obviously been a fire here right next to the railroad trestle. And easy access to water for filtering. All right, let's get set up. So when I set up my duplex, I like to pull that out by making a little kickstand with a piece of scrap wood. That way it keeps the, if it gets condensation inside, it'll keep that away from my foot box of my quilt and away from my head. There we go. It opens it up quite a bit more inside and gives you lots of room. This is a Nemo tensor, and you can blow it up manually, or you can use this little pump sack that comes with it, which is really convenient. You can blow 20-some breaths into it, or you can squeeze about 4 airbag fulls and be done. There's 3 squeezes and it's almost full. One more little one. There it is. This is going to be a little more difficult than I thought to get water. This is really muddy and slick. Oh my goodness, I can barely get down there. Shoot. You can see all the prints of people slipping in. That's some dirty water. But it's my only option. I have to get water unless I can go down there near that tree that's leaning out. I went over to the next spot where that tree was leaning out into the Broad River. I don't know why I thought it was the Wateree River. It's the Broad River. And I slipped in the mud and it was like ice. And I started going down into the, heading down in towards the river, and luckily I stopped about 5 or 6 feet before going into the water. My entire leg was covered in mud, my butt, my coat, and when I came back up, I had nothing to clean up with. I went back to my truck and I did find an old grease rag that was somewhat clean. I was able to smear the mud into my leg even worse. So luckily there was a Dollar General down the road about 6 miles. And a gas station. So I went to this gas station, I bought 4 bottles of water and came back, cleaned up my leg and my anything else that had mud on it, and now I have water boiling and I'll be able to enjoy supper. And you can probably hear it, it's sprinkling. So I was planning on starting a fire and going live tonight to talk about my Palmetto Passage hike today, but I don't think it's going to happen unless it stops completely and I can set up lights and have a fire out there. It's only like 6 o'clock, so I'm going to have to kill some time tonight. After I eat my dinner, I'll probably look at my maps on my phone just to figure out the best route to get down to Columbia tomorrow. Well, I'm going to be leaving my truck here at Alston Trail Head, getting a shuttle down to Columbia, right there by the Broad River where I left off last year, and then walking back to my truck. So there's 2 different routes you can take. One of them's a US route, one of them's a state route. So the US route is the shorter route, I think 23 miles, and the state route, which is going to be less traffic and probably safer, is like 25, 26, 27. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think I'll have my shuttle driver take me down US Rt.176 just so I can get my eyes on it and see what it looks like. So that's what's happening. And a minute ago, it stopped raining. Now it's sprinkling again. So I'm holding out hope that we can still do a live stream tonight. I sure hope so. Those are fun. Using the old cat can alcohol stove tonight. And on the menu, good old Mountain House chicken teriyaki. All right, we got a good boil. Get her sealed up and rehydrated. Actually looks pretty good. Lots of peas and carrots, rice and chicken. It smells delicious. But when you're starving after hiking all day, anything's good. For the appetizer, miso soup. I have these little single packets, and it's really good. There's actually nice pieces of tofu and like little seaweed pieces. Ow, I was about to spill the whole thing. And the seaweed expands into great big chunks. My all-time favorite came in a black package from Whole Foods, and I can't ever find it anymore. I don't remember what it was called. I think I just got these at Kroger's though. Look at all that goodness in there. Let it set a little bit and get soft and expand. Oh, I forgot to show you my other little pre-dinner snack. Some salt and vinegar pork rinds I picked up at the gas station when I was getting the water. It's pretty nasty, but I was craving something salty. And all the potato chips I wanted to try they had in this gas station were all full of MSG. These did not have MSG. Still a lot of junk in them, but at least there wasn't MSG in them. All right, let's try this miso soup. Hopefully it's not full of MSG. I can't remember. Man, I hit the spot. It kind of stinks not having my chair set up and enjoying dinner out by the fire. It actually stopped sprinkling right now. Just about. But everything's kind of damp now, and I just don't know if I want to mess with the fire tonight. Get my dinner all eaten first, I guess. There's just something about miso soup after a long day of running and hiking. Maybe it's that salty broth. Wow, that is a bright light. Well, it's about 9:15. I'm ready to turn in. We had a great live stream tonight. It went live at 8 o'clock for about 20 minutes. Had quite a few people jumping on there. It was a good time. So if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. You can hear about what all went down on the trail today and get a look at the finished Sheltoe Trace tattoo. I revealed it for the first time tonight, and it turned out pretty good. Yeah, I'm ready for a big day tomorrow. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. We'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. From the Peak to Prosperity Trailhead. Getting ready to have my morning coffee here in a moment. It was a cold one again. Got down to 27, and the inside of my tent is covered in ice. It's starting to thaw now. Man, I woke up quite a few times, I'd say after 3 a.m. That's when the temperature dropped below 30. And my 20-degree quilts just don't really keep me warm below freezing. Oh well, I don't feel like cooking today, so after my coffee, I want to have a range bar. I don't really like these, but I had a pile of them in my house and decided to bring a few with me. So that's the breakfast, 700 calories. Fresh tracks, molasses, ginger, and sea salt. Now to get me moving. It's 7 a.m. We'll take my time packing up. I'll probably try to get Ann, my shuttle driver, here around 8:30 to 9. And we're going to take Route 176, US Rt.176, back to Columbia, so I can get my own two eyes on it and see how busy it really looks. Because if it's really, really busy, I'll be walking back on 215. And that is a 28 or 29 mile route. So I could save about 3, 4, 5 miles. I think it's only 23 miles if I take 176. So that's the decision I have to make this morning. Safer route and 29 miles, or busy, not a safe route and 23 miles. And I also am trying to decide, am I taking my whole backpacking kit with me, or am I just going to kind of speed walk this in 7 hours and just wear my vest and not camp out along the road? Gotta figure it out soon. I'm really enjoying the alcohol stove. So nice and quiet. Seems to light all right. It definitely lights a little more difficult when it's below freezing, but it's still not too bad. Now it's officially morning. So the one thing about a single wall tent in weather like this, close to the river, you get condensation inside. Probably can't see the water droplets. A lot of the water's outside the tent too, because it rained last night. But I have a chamois cloth got from an auto parts store. Cut a little 1 square piece out of it, and I carry that in my backpack to keep the tent dry, or to dry the tent off before I pack it up. And at the bottom, it was all ice in here earlier, but now it's thawing out except at the bottom. There's still some ice chunks down there. Ah, there's what I've been waiting for. It's supposed to be 55 degrees today in full sun, as well as tomorrow. Partially sunny tomorrow, but 55 degrees again. Just got dropped off here and forgot to film my shuttle driver. There she goes, and she was a huge help getting me from Alston Trail Head down here where I left off last year. All right, the road walk is about to begin. Here's where Leonidas and I left off last year. We actually got picked up by Lyle right here in this very spot that I'm standing in. We have an absolutely gorgeous bluebird sky day. It's currently about 41 degrees. It's gonna get up to 55, so I will definitely be shedding some layers. But I got 23 miles back to my truck at Alston Trail Head at the beginning of the Peak to Prosperity passage. I've decided to take US Rt.176. Yes, it's gonna be much busier, way more heavily traveled, but it's 6 miles shorter, so it's 23 miles rather than 29 if I was to take State Route 215. And I can get water and food and bathroom breaks all day long along the road. So looking forward to that. Yes, it's not gonna be as pretty, but I've seen all the pretty areas on the passages from the coast to here already. I'm just trying to connect the dots on these road walks. All right, enough blabbering. Let's get walking. Boy, when you get out of the sun, it's still pretty cool. It was a cold one last night. Man, I think it got down to 25 or 27, pushing the limits of the gear that I brought. And ice. There was ice all over the inside of my tent and out. I'm glad to see the sunshine. We got about a half-mile walk up to US Rt.176. Fortunately, we have some sidewalks for quite a while. Just wanted to mention one more time before I forget at how grateful I am to Ann for shuttling me twice. Once yesterday at the Fort Jackson passage, and then this morning from Alston Trail Head down here to Columbia. I am so appreciative, and it helped me out a great deal and saved me money. I offered her some compensation for fuel and time, but she turned it down. So thank you very much, Ann. If you happen to be watching this, your generosity was much appreciated. I'm glad we're gonna have these safe walkways for a little while. So there's the little dam back there where I parked and started. And I didn't realize you could just walk down the trail and right up here. That's all right, no biggie. There she is, the mighty Broad River. Walking the road is not for everybody, but after 6 years of backpacking and 5,000 miles and many, many, many miles of road walking, I've become immune to the disturbance. and you know, people looking at you, wondering what you're doing. I don't even care anymore. I just enjoy a different type of scenery from time to time. Sometimes I get bored walking through the woods all day, even though it's obviously more beautiful. Yeah, but I decided to take this Route 176 because I know most people who through hike the Palmetto Trail do not take it, and I wanted to document for everybody what it looks like. It's pretty busy. We're getting ready to come up to our first major interchange up here. A lot of construction going on. Getting a little warm. It's already about 45 degrees. And since this is one of my layers I'm relying on tonight to keep warm when it gets down to 25 degrees, I want to keep it dry. Already starting to sweat. This is the Light AF Curve 35, if you were wondering. Company out of New Jersey. Chris is the owner. Treats you real good. And they have the most comfortable shoulder straps and backpacks in the market that I've tried. So highly recommend Light AF. Getting ready to cross the I-20 interchange. It's busy out here. I-20. So when I left Columbia, I posted on the Palmetto Facebook group asking for recommendations for maybe a must-try restaurant or a local dive bar that I might pass along the way. So we'll see if we get any recommendations from anybody, and if we do, I'll be sure to share it and show you the location. I've noticed the further we get away from I-20, it's a little less crazy out here. And we're fortunate to still have sidewalks. I will let you know exactly how many miles we have of sidewalks. I am craving a salty snack, so I think we're gonna pop in to this Dollar General and see what I can find. Ended up getting flaming hot Doritos and a Frappuccino. Look at the glossy shine on these shrubs. What in the world are these? They almost look fake. So I am currently 4.6 miles away from the Broad River. And as you can see, I'm in the woods. This has been the first opportunity to get off the sidewalk for a quick bathroom break. Yes, I could use restaurants or gas stations, but I just wanted to point this out, that 4.6 miles away from the Broad River is a little wooded section. I mean, if worse came to worse, you could even stealth camp in here if you had to. Probably wouldn't be very quiet, but as long as you didn't have a fire and you left no trace, and you were in a desperate situation, I don't see why this wouldn't work. South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. I've only seen this on TV, and here I am in person. Well, here we are, the end of the road for the sidewalks. 5.5 miles. So now we have 18 miles of no sidewalks. Well, I take that back. There might be another section coming up, but I can't remember where it's at. I think I've smelled marijuana 4 times now since leaving Columbia. I just passed the Division of Forestry sign back there and the Prevent Wildfire sign. And you have this nice mowed flat section to walk on for a little while here at mile 6.4. I'm gonna stop and take a load off for a minute. I'm guessing that it's illegal to camp in a state forest unless you're at a designated area with, you know, like a campsite with a fire ring and a picnic table and all that. It's usually national forest that you can disperse camp in legally. But if you were in a pinch, I'm sure you can make something work here. This is making me realize that I miss walking. I've been doing so much running lately. I forgot how enjoyable walking is. Hey, it's still a lot of work, you know, carrying a 20-pound pack, but definitely easier on the heart and lungs. Not really any cardio involved in walking, unless you have a big hill. Feels like it's getting close to 50. It is beautiful out today. All right, let's get back on the move. .3 miles in, and officially 1/3 of the way through this road walk. And the 1/3 mark is right here, where 60 branches off of 176. So I thought this was a live frog, and I went down to bump it and realized it's petrified. The Silver Fox Grill. Breakfast, hot dogs, wings, and more. I bet it's good. I am starting to get the munchies, and about a mile or two down the road, I'll be at Lucky's Burger Shack. Came highly recommended from a Facebook post I made on the Palmetto page. So we're gonna try that out. I was also recommended to try wings at the East Room, but I already passed it a couple miles back. And also Roy's Grill, which is a barbecue place. I don't know if it's open today, but I'm not even gonna bother because a greasy burger sounds pretty good. Crossing over I-26, and I can feel the bridge bouncing when traffic goes over it. Welcome to another episode of Stealth Camping with Jason. Today, we're going to stealth camp in the bushes at the I-26 and US Rt.176 interchange. You could easily get away with it. Those are some thick, tall bushes, but it would be noisy.
I'm cleaning this up, right? Right about. Wait, what? You're cool that I'm cleaning this up? Yeah, okay.
Just had a great lunch at Lucky's Burger Shack. It was fantastic, and I highly recommend it. Oh, and it is at mile 10 from Columbia, from the Broad River. We got sidewalks again, that's the good thing. Just a few more miles and I'll start looking for a campsite. Currently at mile 11 and a half, and this has been the first time that there really hasn't been a suitable place to walk. I mean, it's not bad up there right on the berm, but it's so close to traffic. Probably gonna have to go back across the road here shortly. Oh, and it just dawned on me. I'm at the halfway point. Yeah, 11 and a half miles. So if you're wondering where that's at, there's the Victory Bible Church and Imports Plus. That is approximately the halfway point on the road walk on 176 from the Broad River to Alston Trail Head. This looks like a cool Mexican restaurant. I think I got to get my picture with this bowl. An old greenhouse operation. Reminds me of home. Just filled up with water down there at that Sunoco station. And here we are coming up to I-26 again for the second time and the final time today. And then I will be walking out into more rural area and much less traffic. My problem I have now is that I need to get far away from this area so I can sleep tonight, because it is loud. The roar of I-26. It is not fun to try to sleep near. And here we are at 4 o'clock. So I want to be set up and ready to camp by 5 p.m. since it gets dark so early this time of year. So I got less than 1 hour to get out of here. Hopefully we can get down the road about 3 more miles. That's a first. I've never seen massive road signs sitting on the ground like that. That's cool. A lot of construction going on right here. I would be standing in the middle of traffic right now once this is complete. I think I can get across the new bridge. I bet I can. That way I can avoid all this mess over here. Beautiful. So there's the new road under construction. Looks like it's getting close to being done. The workers have knocked off for the day. And this is a nice safe walkway between the 2 lanes. I always wondered how thick asphalt was. That's darn near 4 to 5 inches. Oh, I failed to mention that when I crossed I-26, right back there behind me, it was about the 2/3 point through this road walk. 15.2 miles in, and 23 is the total. So yeah, we're doing good. 2/3 of it done, and that was what I was hoping for. And we'll finish up the final miles tomorrow morning. I just discovered that there is a campground right up ahead called Wood Smoke Family Campground. It's $30 a night for a primitive site. I might just go there because it's like a mile or 2 down the road. That's pretty. My very first waterfall today. So as I was walking down the road, I was looking to my right, and it's a cotton field. I've never been in a cotton field in person. I've seen them from the road driving to Florida. I think that's what it is. Unharvested cotton. Yeah. Wow. And there's that little black seed inside there. Lots of little black seeds. Man, this is so cool. I always wondered what cotton felt like. Very fluffy. It almost actually feels like a cotton ball. Same consistency. Here's a big chunk. It's spongy and foamy and full of those little seeds. Very interesting. All right, camp is all set up in an undisclosed location. I made it about 17.5 miles today. It's currently 5:30. It's gonna get dark fairly quickly here. So I got about 5.5 miles, I'm guessing, back to my truck tomorrow morning at the Alston Trail Head. Home sweet home. See you in the morning.
Alexa, start the coffee. Oh, I'm gonna have to make my own coffee. Oh, so cold. 27 degrees. The inside of my tent is covered in ice from the condensation. Fun times. Wow, check that out. The water froze while I was pouring it out of my bottle. Huh. That's funny. Well, hopefully this thing will light. Sometimes the fuel doesn't want to light when it's cold.
All right, on the move, finally. It's like past 8:30. I wanted to get on the move by 8, but it just took longer than normal to get moving because it's cold and a lot of icy condensation that had formed ice in my tent. Took a while to clean that up. Now I'm just trying to sneak out of this woods back onto the road without being seen. And I think I have 4.5 miles to a road turnoff to start heading north towards, well, to get off 176 and start heading back towards my truck at Alston Trail Head. So probably 6 miles, I'm guessing, maybe 6.5, something like that. So, all right, let's get this day started. I'm ready to knock this section out and get up to Newberry and tackle the Lynch's Woods next. Looking forward to that one. Wow, the second I popped around the edge of the woods and out into the exposed sunlight, it was like instantly 10 degrees warmer. Look at that. Man, my toes are cold, but they won't be cold long. That feels amazing. It has been much quieter out here on this road walk today, the further I get away from Columbia. And I'm only about, less than 2 miles from Stroudemeyer Road. That'll take me up to Peak. All right, leaving 176 behind. getting off on our Studemeyer Road. Or maybe it's just Studemeyer, also known as S4032. And we have 2.5 miles back to my truck at the Alston Trail Head. Just about there. Only about 1.5 miles to go to my truck. I believe this road has turned into Church Street or Church Road, or it's about to. All right, I just came down Church Street and I am now in Peak, turning left here on Suber Street. And I want to get on the Peak to Prosperity Trail right there by the stop sign, behind the stop sign. And then I think we just have about 1/4 mile to the Broad River and the railroad trestle that I camped beside 2 nights ago. All right, here we are, folks. There's the Peak Pharmacy, and right beyond it is a little entrance to the trail, to the Peak to Prosperity Passage. Little bike rack and a little boardwalk here to lead you right down to the passage. I gotta say, it feels really good to have finished that road walk entirely, and I've officially connected to where I have left off. But gotta go to my truck. Oh, there's the trestle. Not as far as I thought. Just a couple 100 yards and this segment will be complete. All right, off to Newberry to tackle Lynch's Woods. All right, here we go. Lynch's Woods. Started right there at the sign. You can just barely see it here. There it is. The Lynch's Woods Park. Right here at the Sheriff's Department in Newberry. All right, heading into the woods for a little trail run. I think it's about 5 miles. It feels good to be back on a single track in the woods. Just about have the Lynch's Woods Passage finished off. I'm on my final 1/2 mile and it is 2 p.m. So I have decided to make this my last passage that I'm going to attempt on this go around. We got a lot of rain coming in tonight, so I don't want to be around for that. I want to start heading home. I got a 500-mile drive home to Ohio. So by the time I research some restaurants, some campgrounds, and get a couple hours down the road, it's already going to be dark. So yep, this is what we're going to call it. I had a great time down here in South Carolina. As always, I love hiking in the Palmetto State, and really looking forward to coming back again just 1 month from now. And I will pick back up in Newberry at the Newberry Police Department. I think I have 7 miles left of that passage. That's where I'll be starting next month in early to mid-February. So be on the lookout for that video if you want to see me start tackling the passages north out of Newberry. 1 more year left here. Next February of 2025, I will officially finish the entire Palmetto Trail, Lord willing. Alrighty, folks. Well, thank you for coming along. I really appreciate it. And we will see you again real soon on the next adventure.